Stan. Anna is. I feel like you're holding up the pink theme as we continue throughout this weekend. We hope you are having a wonderful one. I'm Melissa Constanzer.
And I'm Anna Azallion. Let's go ahead and start you off with radar and satellite to give an idea of what is happening on this Saturday morning. The good news for a lot of us, we're pretty clear.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to go back to that. I thought it wasn't looping for a moment, but we are very quiet. I know it looks kind of white, but that's just because it's a chilly air mass from the Great Lakes south towards the Ohio Valley. We need the dry weather in states like Kentucky, Arkansas, Tennessee, but as you work your way northward, you'll find there's a very dreary day in the Northeast.
Yeah, we have cold rain, some of us even seeing snow. Some accumulation, others maybe just some snowflakes in the sky, but either way, probably not what most of you want for this April.
Probably not at this point. Bit of moisture, new energy pushing into British Columbia, Canada, too. Those two waves will come together to slide their way east. It puts some thunderstorms in Billings, but at least the chance of some moisture here towards the U.S.-Canadian border. So it really is going to be about the bright skies across so much of the population today. 37, though, is how we start off the morning in Chicago. It's a bit nippy as we go into tomorrow, which means there will be a lot of high temperatures off towards the south, but to the north, as we get that next storm system starting to make an entrance, it's going to add in the rain and the chance for a few showers and thunderstorms. So we will have those thunderstorms for a little bit more wet weather, even some of these spotty thunderstorms to start to get going here off towards the southern side of it. So that's where we'll get in on that chance for at least a little bit of rainfall across states like Minnesota. Some snowflakes mixing in on the backside as we head into Sunday night, more so into Monday morning. So the blue comes in on the board here. Still, though, holding on to rain in Minneapolis. As you work your way off towards Michigan, it's rain, but this cold front is going to make a big difference for several different spots. So Monday, the numbers go down quite a bit. Kentucky was hit hard this most recent round of severe weather. Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and nearby communities. Well, the good news as we look across the southeast this weekend, we are going to be drier here. Temperatures back into the 60s, getting a chance to hopefully let those water levels recede as we head into tonight. Still chilly in many spots, but keeping things dry. We'll start off your Sunday cool and stay that way as we head throughout the afternoon. This past week marked National Pet Day, and Bernie Rayno and Ariel Scalise took a look to add in a little bit more activity as we move through time. This is a peek at Sunday. You can see the low pressure system coming through. So we do have the rain there trying to work its way on in some spots. But really your Saturday isn't too bad. We're still feeling a little bit like we should this time of year for April, so that's not really all that bad. Most of the warmth, though, is kept a little farther to the west. Winds come in for a place like Rapid City, and that's going to knock down those numbers as we see this new stormy pattern come through, and a cold front will work in time. Here we are talking about this rainfall across the northern tier of the nation, really confined to the U.S.-Canadian border. A little bit of action around Lake Superior, but that does start to die apart today in Minnesota and eventually moves to some parts of the Bayfield Peninsula of Wisconsin. So a few folks get in on the wintry weather, but overall it is kind of a cooler pattern for places.
Let's give you an updated look at the river levels. We have seen things move a little bit farther downstream since John and Bernie talked there. Notice up into the Ohio River Valley, the Cincinnati and northern Kentucky area, we are out of those major flood stages that we were in. Things have moved downstream a little bit. That's where we're seeing the reds and the purples indicating the story into Kentucky, Ohio, Tennessee, a lot of those areas we were just talking about. As we move farther to the west, it's a much different story. We are seeing what's left over of some precipitation into the northwest, just some scattered showers and scattered snow showers kind of working their way through the Rockies today. But as we move down to the southwest, it's a different story. We have the warmth, we have dry conditions, and we have the wind. That means an elevated fire risk. This goes through tomorrow all the way up from Rapid City down into parts of Texas here. Most of western Texas included in the fire danger of some sort. You have those gusty winds. Just a small spark can spark a wildfire in situations like these, so make sure you are taking precautions. I mentioned we hear the flooding that we've seen. So a couple things to keep in mind. Now, especially if you are still in an area that is flooded, there can be electrical hazards. Anything electrical plus water is a bad combination that you want to steer clear of. Now, whether you're cleaning up after the water has kind of passed or you are still dealing with the flooding, that water is contaminated. I mean, if you look at floodwater, it is very dirty. You don't really know what all is in there, so you want to make sure that you are taking precautions. This can also lead to structural damage, especially if your house was flooded. You want to make sure that you are taking some precautions to keep yourself safe as you go through this cleanup process, because there can be mold and mildew as well as a lot of other issues that, of course, you want to document for insurance. Well, after all of the rain, we are seeing mostly dry throughout the Mississippi Valley, which is good news because we do have the ongoing river flooding, right? As we take a look at the areas most likely to be impacted, everything is working its way downstream, right? So the Ohio River around Cincinnati, for example, river levels have gone down, but there's areas like Vicksburg, Mississippi, Baton Rouge, Louisiana that have yet to see river levels rise to those flood stages. That is yet to come. And for somewhere like Baton Rouge, that's not going to come until April 20th to 22nd is the current forecasted date. So this is going to be an ongoing situation for weeks yet to come. Let's talk temperatures, though, for the short term for your Sunday across the southeast. We're trending, most of us, a little bit cooler than our historical averages. In Tampa and Orlando, Nashville, you're a few degrees warmer, but really you're in the ballpark, I would say, of your historical average. And then we have Raleigh also trending a little bit cooler, but overall not too bad. By the time we get to Monday, we do have some of that rain returning. Now, one thing about this, yes, it's rain over some of these areas that have been dealing with the flooding. It's not ideal for recovery efforts, but we're not expecting this to exacerbate any of that flooding. It's not going to be enough rain to really have that kind of impact. There's a pro and a con to this storm moving through. As we look towards Texas, though, it is just going to be hot until this cold front moves through the area and drops temperatures down from record challenging highs that we're looking at throughout the weekend. Overall, your temperatures for Monday were a little bit warmer in places like Atlanta and Nashville, as well as Little Rock, even Jacksonville and Tampa back to the 80s.